Seth Garrett, but not if Seth has anything to say about it. He's going to try to stop him in his tracks. We're going to go to the face-off. Ben gets possession. And we'll
immediately
draw first
scores.
blood.
All right, it is 1-1 now.
One
Seth returning. And you can see here Seth has got a number of very high-profile players in his corner out here supporting him. We are big believers in team and community here. We see the Carolina shirts being worn by many. It is now 2-1. Seth is in the lead, but it is only 1 point. Puck goes flying. Puck in play.
2-all.
All right, we're now able to see both players full body. We can see the stances, the intensity.
3-2.
We're now at 3-2.
3-3.
3-all, folks. You see Ben's got a bit of a rocking stance, back and forth, keeping on the balls of his feet. He may not have quite the length, the reach that Seth does, but he's gonna make up for it with that forward lunge.
To my left.
And the puck goes flying once again, folks. That's why we have a barrier protecting your commentators here, because there was some force. We see a dent has been left.
Flip it. Flip it. Eraser. Flip it.
All right, Seth maintains possession after that. We flip the puck over, and here we go.
4-3.
4-3. As you see, when we get to this high level of play, it's rarely going to be a runaway score. We're probably going to see what we expect, a back-to-back.
Nice shot by Seth there.
But maybe not if Seth has anything to say with it.
Nice right wall under by Grabmayr there. That puck touches the top of the table. That will be considered out of play and make it a foul. And just like that, we're tied 5-5. Nice shot. Game point for Seth Garrett. He does not want this to go to a 6-6.
And
just
he doesn't.
like that.
He's going to get the 7-5.
We'll take game number 1. This is a best 4 out of 7, so there's still plenty of air hockey to go, but Seth has to be proud of himself for that one. He's going to make a decisive victory to set himself up.
And Tim, as someone who has played Seth many times, many times, what should we be looking for out there as his strongest asset that's going to keep him ahead? Like we see, he's got a 7-5, but he needs to get at least 21 more points.
So one thing about Seth Garrett I can say is he can be a very, very analytical, very precise when he wants to be. Sometimes if the mental can get there, I know that he can have some kind of passion in his play, but I think we're seeing some prime Seth Garrett right now, and I hope that is only going to get improved unless Grabmayr can find a response. I know we are a bit biased inherently because we are both North Carolina residents and we want to see Seth succeed. We've known him for about well over a year now. But Grabmayr is no slouch. Like I said, he's been on a killing spree, specifically collecting the bounties of several North Carolina Titans. Seth has to be that wall if he wants to keep himself in this tournament.
And speaking of Carolinians, supporting Carolinians, the entire front row of the audience, save maybe one person, are your tried and true familiar places from the North Carolina Air Hockey Players Association, rooting for one of our own here. Everyone seems to have something to say, trying to coach Seth. Is he really taking it in? He seems to turn his back just a little. A lot is being said in his ear. And we see Ben on the other side really just use the opportunity to recenter, refocus, and keep to himself.
We're going to enter game number 2. Seth.
Right out the gate.
Decisive shot.
2-0.
2-0.
To my right. Ready, sir? Play putt. 1, 2. Three, 1.
3-1. Fast pace, moving quick.
2, 3.
This may be one of the fastest moving games we've seen in a while, folks, here on this main stage. Both players have been playing nonstop for 2 straight days. I know many of us were out here past 1 in the morning trying to finish up some losers brackets. But
5-3.
we're not. 5-3, Seth Garrett
4-5.
returned.
Back and forth. These are very, great offense from Seth there. He won the last game 7-5. Might try to make this 7-4. Ben has to keep his defense there. You see how he keeps his mallet up there. We call that the triangle defense, being able to kind of put your mallet about a foot ahead of your goal, and then at any point in time, if you expect an under, you can snap it to those corners at any point in time. Or you can try to hold on, stay still, try and block the cut. Ooh, very fast right roll over. Seth, possession.
And it's going to be the 7-4 you were talking about.
Number 2.
And if you're Ben right now, Tim, what are you thinking? You see that one player has the entire stands in his favor. He's coming from a smaller represented state.
Well, I mean, actually, you can see, I think it's Brandon Namarro, also from Colorado, is here.
We do have Brandon Namarro. Thank you.
Actually, I think, I'm trying to remember where, you need to start player profile. No worries. Well, we'll try to hear from him after, but I don't believe that Ben is here alone. I believe that Ben has got some support. I believe that Ben does have some support waiting for him in those stands. I know that, you see Brandon Navarro does go over. I think they're Colorado players. Going to go hop in and give him some advice on how to get his head back in the game. Being down 2 games is not ideal, but it is not a death sentence. I've seen much bigger comebacks, and we'll only see some more air hockey as we continue our 1-minute break. Yeah, it seems that they're both wearing that Carolina blue. Seth representing North Carolina Air Hockey Players Association with that shirt from our state tournament happened earlier this year.
All right, Ben has scored a point here. Once again, shout out to our ref, Danny, one of the greatest we have. He knows his game in and out. He's been around since really the conception of its greatness.
Great transitions.
Pausing, holding, really lining up the shot. And he gets it. The patience pays off. Quickly returned by Seth Garrett. All right, folks. Watching a very fast-paced game here. You know, we asked Seth if he would be okay with us stealing one of our fellow Carolinians as a guest commentator here, and he said no, he wanted the support. So it'll just be Tim and I for this game. 2-2.
Ooh, just dinking the goal there. Not sure our audience can hear that, but that is the sound of Joey Liss, #1 player in North Carolina. He is out of this tournament, but he is giving all he can, all of his support and coaching to Seth.
And a bit of a self-score.
Unfortunate to see that. It's just, I wouldn't call it a self-score. It's more just like the way the puck
yeah. I always want to call it a bit of a self-score because really, could you help it? Maybe not, but it's when you pull back as it's already bouncing. Takes any chance of luck away.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I'm not going to diminish that shot from Ben. It was a great shot.
Absolutely.
Score. It's not a. Ooh, great left wall from Seth there. 3-all.
Well, if anything, Tim, I guess what we could call an incident like that is that was a forced error.
Nice.
And that was a great shot.
Right. Transition off of this defense. You can see just like that, Seth being very methodical. Right wall under, 4-all.
Quickly returned. Never celebrate your victories. Not that that's what Seth did here, because he is back in it. He's got the game almost on lock. You might be able to see that this puck is being hit so hard the table itself wobbles.
It's like wobbling as they move.
I wish we could
What
get
a
a force
volley at
velocity
5-5.
measurement on this table
Great
right now.
defense by these folks. You see some off goals, trying to find the cracks in the armor. No bloodshed there. Great defense by Grabmayr. This onslaught of shots gets the possession back. No foul called.
Taking a deep
Puck's
breath
still
to
in play.
reset there.
Oh, and he gives that possession right back. The defense from these players is what really separates masters from novices, being able to make sure you can expect, recover, and see all angles this puck is coming from.
Absolutely, Tim. And we know Seth is a master.
Shot.
Of his
Seth
trade.
Garrett is on the verge of taking game number 3, best 4 out of 7.
But it's going to go to 6-6.
6-6.
This is what we want to see.
No timeout is
Who
called.
is going to get the final point? Puck off the
See
table.
Ben pumps his fist as he knows that that possession will go to him. This is Ben's opportunity to put himself on the board. A timeout is called. 10 seconds. It can feel like a very, very short period of time, but in reality, that is an eternity. You see Brandon DeMauro scutters off stage to trying to get any last-second coaching.
And he takes
Just
it.
like that. Game number 3. Let's see that replay if we can. Nice. To left wall under.
So now, one game.
All right, players are going to take their 1 minute as Ben Grabmayr has 1 game to Seth's 3. We're going to reset our scoreboard and get ready. Oh, Seth's 2. Seth has 2 games, Ben has 1. Apologies. You know, like I said, Carolinian, I'm a bit biased. Every so often just add a couple points on Seth's scoreboard.
And we want to clarify that is a joke. That would be the worst possible thing you could catch us doing. We may mess up in what we say, but we guarantee we've got such great refs here. A mistake like that would never happen.
Yeah, we see Danny Hines in our ref seat, lending his best expertise that he can offer to make sure that everything is kind of above board, because when you're playing the fastest tabletop game
Take that, ping pong.
Take that, ping pong. Sometimes your eyes can deceive you, so having these refs, some shadow refs on the stands behind them, keeping their eyes and making sure that any overs, any kind of fouls are making sure they're being called properly.
And we see Seth here trying to stay as active as possible, keeping up a dribble at all times, whereas Ben is going to step away, take just a swig of water, you know, like we saw earlier, just reset, recenter. He's going to come at this little mild-mannered. He is ready to go now, and Seth has gotten just a last-minute wave of encouragement from our very own Dame Anderson. This is 2-1 game. Seth in the lead. Puck goes flying.
Puck goes flying off the table.
Possession Ben. And he makes quick work of it.
I didn't see it. All right.
A puck from another table had gone flying over here to main stage. We had a bit of a pause there. If you were wondering why, that would be it. Speaking of flying pucks, we've got another right into the stands, but luckily our barriers are in place.
All right, racer. Play puck.
Oh, losing possession there. That's okay. Seth can just shake that off.
2-0.
He's lost some momentum, and Ben is going to try to run away with it. He's down only by 1 game now.
And you mentioned this earlier about Seth. He is a very methodical player when he wants to be. As long as he keeps his head together, he is able to be disrupted. We can see something so fast, so abrasive, and he's already off his game.
I'll be honest, like, I'm actually getting pretty emotional right now watching Seth on this table. You know, I've known Seth, like I said, for about a year now. He actually coached me during some of my games yesterday, trying to get me through my own spin-off bracket. So I know that Seth really loves this game. He loves air hockey. Great over by Grabmayr there. Grabmayr doesn't care how much Seth loves this game. All he cares about is getting 7 points and that goal.
Well, we heard before in an interview, when you get on the table, you're no longer playing a person, you are playing a puck. So I'm sure these two are not thinking at all about each other, only what is directly in front of them, what that round disc is going to do next.
Ooh, I almost thought that puck would slide in there.
And he is able to return with that after such a
Rally.
yeah.
Get himself on the board. This is a much different Ben we're seeing in comparison to the past couple of games that started us. Ben Grabmayr up 4-1. Going to try to tie himself up in this game.
But you know, Tim, being down by 3 doesn't mean very much.
Whatever advice Brandon Tomorrow gave might make a difference here.
And what do you think has been the best advice, Tim, when you're in a moment like that, when you are so close to being down and out? We see a lot of times coaches come in and it changes players' perspective completely. What is it that they are able to offer?
Well, I mean, all it takes is a coach, and sometimes all they will do in a matter of a couple seconds is they'll just name a shot. You know, when I was being coached by Seth yesterday, popped out of the goal there. Very unfortunate for Ben. And all it takes is maybe a couple of words. So at one point, I think I took a 10-second timeout, and all Seth did, he looked at me and said, reverse cut. Or he'll look at me and said, like, and he'll even say, do your best shot. Maybe find out what's working and do that, especially as we hit a 6-3 grab. He's on the verge.
Timeout has been called.
Game number 4 for himself, his second game there. Timeout is called, 10 seconds on the clock.
You ready, sir?
Ben has possession. Great block by Grabmayr. Does not want to give Seth even an inch. Doesn't even want to give him an inkling of a comeback in this game. Being able to score 4 points in a row unanswered is not unheard of, but it is quite difficult, especially against a player of Ben Grabmayr's caliber. Feel a hush draw over the crowd.
A little wipe away of the sweat. You know things are heating up now. There is so much AC in here. We're wearing coats, but these players, they might as well be in the furnace.
Rally. Saw pump fake. Does not phase him. Come on, Seth. You just don't have to. Just make sure you don't score on yourself in these motions. I know you're fighting for the possession, but that puck is.
And we've seen many times a game lost due to a self-score.
Oh, Ben Grabmayr will
This
take
time it'll be a
game
straight.
number 4 around Ben to give him some insight. And you see, if we can see from our left side of our cameras, you might be able to see kind of the folks kind of rallying around Seth. You see his girlfriend, Sarah Mann. You see Dane Anderson, also from Colorado. Maybe he's giving him from Colorado.
He's a Carolinian now.
Yes, you see Joey Liz. You see Alan Odom. Hopping in, keeping him hyped, keeping his spirits up, because this is not the time to slow down.
And we know Seth will take guidance, especially from Joey. There is such a mutual respect as those two have gone head-to-head for just about every allocate you can think of.
Yeah.
Especially here in North Carolina, we have had the pleasure of watching them go head-to-head at least 3 times a month, and it is always, always a crowd favorite.
Yeah. Both Seth and Joey have previously held the #1 spot in North Carolina. It's currently held by Joey, but Seth is playing out of his mind to the best of his ability.
You can hear the crowd is cheering for him, and we are holding back our own cheers. But you know what? We've got Ben. He's got to get through him. We saw 2 back-to-back games where Ben Grabmayr absolutely refocused and really just nailed it. There is no such thing as a slouch here on our main stage today, as we are in day 3 of the World Air Hockey Championships in Houston, Texas. Everyone deserves to be here at this point in the game. It could go to anyone. It's going to be 1-0 Ben. And if you're watching along, folks, nothing wrong is happening. We are readjusting the camera so you can get the best view of the action. We had a puck off the table. Possession is going to go with Seth. Keeping track at home, folks, it is 2-2 games. We are discussing with the ref, but we're back in action, puck in play.
Great shot by
really
Grabmayr.
found a nice pocket that he's been able to get quite a few shots out of.
Great catch by Seth there.
Goes flying. Possession is going to go to Ben, as that was an offensive move by Seth that sent it off the table.
3-0.
A push there. All right, we are at 4-0. Ben waiting for Seth to really pull it out the bag right now. We saw maybe there was some frustration with himself as he went from 2-0 to 2-2 games, just like that in a row, losses. But 4 points being up just means Seth needs to score 7. We're at 5-0. Let's hope we don't see a shutout. It would be quite a feat, but not today. Ben is playing fantastically. The precision unparalleled. We see it right there off the serve.
Now this is the Grabmayr I heard about. Someone who's hunting down North Carolina players. He defeated the likes of Joey Liz, Ray Nugent, and Alan Odom yesterday, and he wants to add Seth Garrett to his bounty list. And he's on his way. He's on the verge of taking game number 5 for himself.
But don't forget, this is a 4 out of 7. There's still a lot left to be played. Fatigue can play a huge role. We are early in the day. This is our first matchup on the Centerline table.
And both these players have been playing 2 full days of air hockey already, so I know that their muscles are tired just from that constant marathon. Foul call. Looks like that possession is going to go back to Grabmayr.
I had recommended to our players just a day ago, get that ice bath, get that cold shower. Your muscles need it.
Nice shot, Seth.
We're going to call it a sport all day, every day, because if you will, ooh,
just like that, a
7-3.
left wall. Let's watch that in slow motion. Up, off the wall, pass, sets. You can hear Joey Lisk calling from the sidelines.
You are in, see, he yells. Show him who you are. That's what we want to see out of Seth right here, right now. The crowd is
Joey's
getting electric.
Literally doing jumping jacks in the corner. See the likes of, yeah.
This is what it's about, folks. Team and community.
Jumping jacks on the
This is a game for North Carolina with Seth's name on it.
I know that Seth wants this so bad. Oh, you see they are getting hyped. This is a North Carolina brotherhood, a community that has rallied behind Seth because they want this win for him.
And that's what you should always expect, sportsmanship. You know, just because you're out of the tournament doesn't mean you stop watching. It doesn't mean you're not invested. Your team's victory, your state's victory is your victory. So you're out here cheering for your compatriots, your pals, like Tim said, your brothers.
Yeah, and like I said, like so many folks know Seth in this community. As we're gonna go to game number 6, this is a potential match game for Ben Grabmayr. This is going to be a game that Seth needs to take if he wants to have a hope of staying alive in this tournament. He does not want to be the 4th name on Benjamin's list.
Full credit to Ben. He has taken out a number of Carolinians, and he has come back in the past 3 games with the ferocity we didn't see in the first 2.
Yeah.
And he is on a roll. Can he pull it out here? Oh, fantastic block there.
Oh.
You see Ben has got so much dexterity in his wrists. Got another solid block. Possession is maintained and turned over, and Seth is going to use it to score the first point of game 6. In and out of the goal. A little bit of luck.
There.
A lot of skill.
Relatively, I don't want to call it a peaceful rally or even a quiet rally, but no points being scored off this kind of just back and forth. He's been asked to
Table
stand
is,
up.
oh, we're standing. Okay, table is still on. Give the opportunity for a breather there.
I can kind of feel like a weird unofficial timeout, and you're making sure your equipment is staying proper. You know, anytime any puck flies off the surface, it's going to be collecting dust, some fuzzies, any kind of schmutz on this floor of this
And
ballroom.
I have to agree with the players here, Tim. That puck is really showing some drag, actually, as I'm watching Seth try and dribble it.
When you grow up playing air hockey in bars, arcades, kind of anywhere, like bowling alleys, laser tag arenas, anywhere you can find pucks, like you're going to find kind of varying levels of quality in the equipment you're looking at, right? And so some folks will be playing on and learning on different types of tables, different brands, something that we would consider not USAA sanctioned. Lots of different air hockey tables out there, but we are using Dynamo tables, probably the gold standard, except for gold standard tables, which are
2-1.
Around anymore.
Movement pace is picking up. But you're right, Tim. People have said a couple times we're a bit of a rag tag.
Over there by Seth.
3-1. Bit of a ragtag sport. We don't always have the most uniform access to tables and pucks, and we kind of play with what we got.
Yeah, so, it's a very. I like the term ragtag because it kind of feels like a bit of a roughie and a rapscallion in the air hockey community. Because you can say, "Oh, I grew up playing on a Dynamo versus a Gold Standard versus a Firestorm." 4-1 for Seth.
Puck is off the table. Possession, Seth.
This is the game for Seth to take if he wants to get to Game 7.
And we are all holding our breath, hoping that's exactly what we're going to get to see.
There's a phrase in the air hockey community when we reach a really pivotal points like a 6-6 or a kind of that final game. It's called get hype. As we find ourselves 5 points to 2.
And like we said, folks, it is 5-2. Still any man's game. The focus on Ben's face. It's frightening. I would hate to be up against it if we're being honest.
Ooh,
there, he's
nice
going to use it.
right, well,
He thought that through.
Grabmayr there. Nice.
All right, game point 3. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, holding their breath. I see some hands balled into fists now, trying to hold it together.
Nice.
Gets a victory. We're going to Game 7.
Great shot there.
On our very first matchup here on the feature table, we're going to go to Game 7. We see both of our players are getting their pep talks, getting their coaching, staying focused, shoulders back. Danny Hines is going to do a quick investigation. We are doing jumping jacks all around the table, folks. Carolina is going to get hype. This is why we love air hockey. It is a community sport. We may be playing one-on-one, occasionally doubles, but ultimately we are here for each other. We're here to have fun, but we're going to go for gold every time. Made some eye contact here with Seth, and I say go for gold, and you know, I have all the faith in him. Ben's not going to let him have it easy. In fact, I think Ben could take this himself. He has got the mentality behind it. He has recentered. Once again, he's less likely to feed into the crowd like we see some of our Carolinian players, and he has beat so many of them in quick succession recently. We'll find out if Seth is going to be the next casualty or if he is walking out into another round. We're going to sand the puck again. It did go flying many times in the last game. Danny Hines, with his expertise, is testing it. It seems like he agrees there's some drag or something on it because it is being sanded again.
All right, looks like
they're going to get the substitution puck, actually.
Subbing the puck in. And I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I mean, you've been playing 6 games with the same puck, and to switch it out on Game 7, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Shout out to Greg Givens.
It's a bold move, Cotton. He knows what we're saying.
Yeah, Greg called me out and said, I'm counting the times you use it, so shout out to Greg
well,
for that.
Keep score. You know I love the stats, folks, and not everyone is willing to give me their own stats, so we'll talk about ours. But, you know, Tim, I actually disagree. I think when you go into Game 7, it is no longer 4 out of 7. It is 1 out of 1. Bring in the new puck. Bring in the best equipment, the best opportunity we have for success, because this is really 1 to decide it. The previous 6 are basically a warm-up when you get down to it. And we're going to get started. And we are not sitting in our normal seats, or that would have been my head.
You see Ben trying to dribble the puck. Luckily, that was not called puck in, or else that would be considered a foul. We're seeing how they feel about the quality of that puck, making sure that this equipment is in the most pristine condition.
Here we go.
Game 7. We hear it from the crowd.
But there's a time to pull out.
I said
All
game
the stuff.
7. Here we go. That's all I said.
We've got a little bit of banter here
It looks
from our
like,
boys on the
there was
table.
some confusion that Ben thought it was puck in, but all that Danny Hines said was it's game 7. As it not said, now we say
Puck
play
and
puck.
play.
Yeah. And they're all those are all acceptable ways of saying, you know, the game has started. It's called puck in, puck and play puck, let's go. I don't know, whatever verbal confirmation you can hear from the ref.
Well, you know, Tim.
Ben swats it like a fly.
Great shot.
Every
Forearm
point
action.
is a victory
1-1.
in and of itself. 1-1.
All right, there's going to be some.
Seth wants this almost more than anything.
And he's going to
See on
go.
his face the frustration, the intensity, the passion both of these players are bringing. Great block set there. Oh, right wall under.
We're
This is
seeing
what
a
it's all
revived
about.
Seth
We're
in
only-
this game.
It's early in the morning. It's the first. That puck
And again, at the
flies.
commentators, we will be the first casualty, it seems, of today.
I won't take it personally, but I will put my bottom line for this game as much as these players will.
Absolutely, and they will too.
Ooh,
Right
nice.
off the possession.
I feel like a little bit of an off speed too, like almost like
Yeah.
Seth dodged out of the way, expecting something else. You know, that left wall under that Grabmayr's been pulling out. It's been something that is kind of just flying under that mallet. Able to pair that with a cross or a cut, and he cross just like
All
that.
right.
Ties us 3-3. Right wall over. Finds his way, not connecting. Nice under from Seth. Half our audience is on, like some of our audience is even on their feet. I don't think I could be able to sit down right now if I was watching.
All right, 5-3. It is a
point is a
2-point
victory.
lead. He just needs 2 more.
But don't crack.
Though
no,
Ben right here, we've seen him come out of a bigger deficit to win it all. It is only 1 point separating the two.
We can't count Grabmayr out yet. We've seen bigger comebacks. It's only 4-5, and in a moment, one twitch of a mallet, Garrett has 1 point before he's able to defeat Grabmayr, being the one North Carolinian actually able to take down this bounty hunter Ben, but not without a fight. 5-6.
You see, timeout has been called. We are going to be 6-6 game 7. We've got Seth Garrett versus Ben Grabmayr. The crowd is electric. This is what we always want to see every single time.
This is the most incredible match I've seen all weekend. I might be biased because Seth is a personal friend of mine, but Grabmayr, what an incredible showing. Great block by Grabmayr. He will retrieve the puck. That possession is his. You see Brandon DeMar.
We've got a slow walk
Colorado
back. Catch
giving
your
advice.
breath. Slam the puck on the table from Ben.
Oh my God.
The instant replay of Ben
Grabmayr
Grabmayr
will
taking
game
7-6
4.
game 7. North Carolina, and he's going to take down. We're going to try and catch Ben in the winner's circle in just a
heartbreaker
moment.
for Seth Garrett, but I think both these players should be. Holy jeez!
That was amazing to watch. I know I screamed in some of y'all's ears for sure. because I couldn't hold the excitement. We were watching an incredible matchup on the edge of our seat every single second. The precision, the accuracy, and it was so fast-paced. Sometimes in these games, it's really like a thought process that we're able to watch on their face, but they were moving so quickly, I couldn't predict most of their shots.
Yeah, bounty hunter Ben Grabmayr, as I'm going to call him for the rest of this weekend, has defeated his 4th North Carolinian. He has found the special sauce. He found the cracks in the armor against Seth Garrett, Joey Liss, Ray Nugent, and Alan Odom. An incredible display. Cannot wait to hear what was running through his head when he was down those 2 games at the start, when he was able to come back and take 2 more, and then where we were able to find ourselves in game number 7 to take it all the way to game 7 at a 7-6. That is what air hockey's about.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And Tim, that's why we say it doesn't matter if you're down 1 game, 2 games, even 3 games. It's not over until it's 4 out of 7. So maybe Ben's first 2 games weren't his absolute best. He did, lose them. But we saw in that game 3, he snapped into it. And we watched him carry that energy all the way through to that .7 at a 7-6 game 7.
Yeah, all right, we're going to go try to grab Ben if we can. I know he's getting
All right, everyone, we are here with our victor of a 7-6 game 7 against the 4th Carolinian you've taken down. How did that feel? What was going through your head? You looked so focused. We couldn't decide.
Yeah, so had a good breakfast this morning, and had plenty of water, make sure I have the energy. Having energy is important, especially when you're on day 3, playing hard all weekend. So he was up on me 2-0 because I was just out for straight. Thought he was going to hit straights. He kept banking it and banking and banking it. So after 2 games, I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold on his bank. And then he just kept banking, and then he started losing the puck and started losing possessions, hitting it off. I was like, okay, I like this. Change up my attack a little bit. I wanted him to be worried about the cross because that was open, and then also mixed in the left wall. Then when we get to about game 6, he was onto it. So then it was like, and then because of that, he started defending better. He started scoring. He started hitting those cuts he should have been hitting earlier. But cross was still there. So then game 7, it's a toss-up. Anybody could make it, especially when you go down game point. It's like, it's not really who's better at that point. It's just who gets that possession. And when it flew off, it could have gone in. It flubbed in on him the last point. He kind of blocked it, but it still went in. So it's crazy because that could have gone either way.
Absolutely. It was, like you said, it was crazy. It was electric. You had the entire stadium behind both of y'all. What was that like playing with so much noise and support when, as we've seen in day 1 and 2, everybody was too busy. We had so many side games going on. What was that like?
Well, I don't notice the crowd as much. Because I like the energy behind the North Carolina people, especially when they're cheering like one of their guys. It's great. Even if it's not for me, like they just have the kind of energy. But I don't notice it too much when I'm playing because I'm just laser focused on like what's his defense doing, what's he doing on offense. So the crowd that can be as loud as they want, but like when you get into the moment, it shouldn't matter.
And that's what we saw. That was incredible laser focus from you. Got you to your victory. Congratulations once again. We're only a little bit sad you took out our whole team almost single-handedly. Yes, Timothy Young and I are actually North Carolina players as well. But congratulations on your victory. We'll be talking to you again soon. Thank you so much for the insight.